I started the recording. Okay. Connecting to some sample data. Okay. First, I'll try to generate a cross tab. To do that, what are the minimum required elements? One or more dimensions and one or more measures. So I'll select them, say subcategory and sales. Now I'll select this text table or cross tab of information. Okay. Now let's see the different formatting options here. Okay. To do formatting for these, what will we do? Right click, format. So once you click, these format options will come. Now let's explore all of the options present here. Okay. First of all, your formatting is divided into 5 types. Okay. Font, alignment, shading, borders, and lines. Okay. Font, alignment, shading, borders, and lines. And each of them is divided into 3 types again. Sheets, rows, and columns. So sheet as in whole table, rows as in just rows, and columns just columns. Okay. So these are the 3 different styles. First one, sheet, and I have selected font option. So default for worksheet, we're using Arial 8 point, and this is the color we are using and so on. If you want to change, this is going to affect whole sheet because I have selected for worksheet. If I want to clear, clear. If it's for pane, if you don't want it, again clear. Header. Header means basically this one. This is called a header, okay? So these are our measures, right? Other than measures, headers. Clear, you can click clear. Tooltip, you already know what tooltip is. This menu on the right side that we see generally is the tooltip. If you want, we can edit that also. See now, default color for tooltip is edited. And if something has been changed or format of you are deviated from the normal format, okay, it will be shown in bold. Okay, to clear that, you can click on clear. Now this is not bold anymore, and this one is reverted back to defaults. If it's for total, now we don't have a total, no change. But if we try to show total, now you see this one. The reason is that header, this is shown in this color. Click clear. Then grand total, pane, and header. Similarly, we have rows. For rows, header options. So we can select anything else also here. Okay, if you want to clear, click clear. Then we have similar options for pane and header, grand total. Because this is rows, we're not doing for the whole worksheet or pane. That's why these options are limited. Next, similar for columns. See, click clear and you'll go back to normal. And we have the same pane options. Now here we don't have a pane. That's the reason not seeing anything. Similar for header. Okay. These are my font options, different font options. Next, I have alignment. For alignment, basically, how do you want it to be aligned, left or right aligned? If you click here, so left aligned, everything will be left aligned, center, right aligned. Okay, it's automatic. Click clear, it will go back to default. We have seen the vertical and wrap options yesterday. Similarly, we have pane total and grand total options. Then we have rows and again columns. We have shading. Okay, so if you want to shade your worksheet, if you don't want it, click clear. If you want paint to be shaded, click clear. Similarly for header. Okay, just grand for totals, right? For totals and grand totals, how do I want to do that? Now, if you observe here, one of these rows is light in color, one of these rows is dark in color. That's called as row banding. Okay, this is so that the user can easily understand and doesn't get confused. For example, if we have say multiple fields here, now sometimes if this banding was not there, then sometimes I might get confused where this table belongs to. Is it this or this? So let's see if I remove banding. Okay, format, shading. Okay. If I need to know 17462 where it belongs to, I might get confused. Okay, I might wander off somewhere else, or I have to select it. This is a little bit difficult. So instead of doing that, if I had banding for that, then I know clearly where this column or where this row belongs to. Okay, to edit this banding, we can click here and we can edit it here. That's for pane, and for header, these are the options for header. To clear, click clear. Now what does band size mean? Basically, now one row and one row, right? So this is the color shading is distinguished at the minimal row level. Now to increase it, what we'll do? Okay, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, and so on. That's my band size. And what do I mean by level? This is the least possible level it can go to. If I increase it, see what happens? This is one color and then this is one color. See how it was? Okay, that's my level option. If you want column banding also, then you can click it like this. Okay, to clear, click clear. Similarly for rows, we have a header, shading, total, grand total, and row banding. And these are row banding options. Column, I have column options here. My different levels, different band sizes. Okay. And then we have borders. We want borders. Do you want by default cell to be colored? Yes, no. Say if I click on this one, see how the color is present? Do you want that to be present or not? Yes, no. For pane. Okay, that's my pane coloring. For my header coloring, if you don't want, none. Again for total, grand total, and row divider, column divider. Basically, you are giving borders for rows and for columns. And finally, we have lines. So lines, we'll explore these options when we are discussing charts, okay? Because it doesn't mean anything here. Drop lines, axis rulers, axis sticks. We'll discuss this when we are discussing graphs or charts. And then finally, there's a fields option. So till now, we were either doing it for the whole sheet, for all the rows, or for all the columns. What if you want to do, say, only for subcategory? So only for category. So in that case, you can select it here. for all measures, for all measure values, for all category, region, subcategory, and so on. So subcategory I selected. So format subcategory. Here I have similar options. Just font for subcategory. Okay, header. This is my font options. So only subcategory I'm changing. Okay. Alignment only for subcategory. Nothing more than that. You can also select each field however you want. So if you want sum of sales, okay, so this one. How is the number format written? 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's like this, automatic. Number standard is this one. Number custom, if you want to give the number of decimal places. Currency, if you think this is currency, I can select which country currency it belongs to. English, United States, so that's why you have a dollar sign before that. Okay. Say English India rupees. Okay. So on. We also have custom currencies. We can give a prefix or a suffix. Something like INR. You see INR is written next to at the end. That's my suffix option. Do you want to include 1000 separators or not? Okay. This is my automatic. Then I have a scientific and percentage. Do you want it to be shown as a percent? Do you think this is a percentage values? And then custom. I can specify the format here. I have axis options also. Different axes. Shading. Now we are not seeing any axis or shading here because this is not a graph or a chart. To clear the formatting, click clear. Okay, fields. These are all the different formatting options of your sheet rows and columns. That's all. Okay. To close, click close. Okay. Yeah. So any questions? Now, anyone questions? Okay, I'm assuming you're all familiar with this and you understood everything. Okay.
Uh,
Now,
Hi Shiva. Can you please show the first option, like how we get there?
where? Oh, how
Uh,
to start the formatting?
yes, yes.
So select any cell, right click and click on formatting.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Perfect. Next thing. So now we'll start other charts. Okay. Now formatting is done. Okay. Before I start about annotations, we'll start about charts. Okay. Because I've already told you most of these options. I've told you what is tooltip and how to edit the tooltip based on requirement. Annotations will see this in a chart or a graph. How to create a folder and add members to a folder, we'll see these two options after I start discussing one or two charts. Okay, perfect. So to select a chart, basically these are all the default views that we have. Say I want to create a bar chart. Okay, what should I do? It requires one or more measures and zero or more dimensions. So let's say I select a region and sales. Now bar chart is highlighted. I can select this. This is my horizontal bar chart. Okay, simple, right? Horizontal bar chart. So if I want to add subcategory to this, if I want to add it in the rows, I can do it here. If I want to do it in the columns, I can do it here. One thing you have to remember is that this blue pills come first to the green pills. Okay, or dimensions before measures. Perfect. So that's one important thing. So for example, if I want to place the subcategory here, see, I'm not getting that option. I cannot place this on the right side of sum of sales. Even sum of sales I cannot place in between region and subcategory. Okay, one of the features. Okay, so here let's talk about all the different charts now. So let's start with a pie chart. This is the most simple one, the pie chart. So when do we use a pie chart? Basically, if you want to show different distinctions of a whole unit. So sum of sales is a whole unit and you want to show it according to each region, right? According to each region, you are going to show it. That means of a whole thing, you're showing subdivisions. So this subdivisions, okay, if it's less than 5, remember the number less than 5, then you use a pie chart. You might be asked this in the interviews. When will you use a pie chart? Of a whole unit, if you want to show a maximum of 5 distinctions, then we use a pie chart. If it's more than 5, what do we do? So for example, instead of region, say it's by subcategory. Let me remove this one. Okay. Now I cannot clearly understand which is smaller and which is bigger. Not so easy to do. Can be this one and this one. The sizes are nearly the same, but there's like $20,000 difference. So for that, what will we do? We'll select a packed bubble. So here we can understand it more clearly. When can we use a packed bubble? This is also if you want to show different categories. Okay, if you want to show different categories, but if the number of categories are more than 5 and less than 15, we can use a packed bubble. Okay, what happens if it's more than 15? Then we go for a bar chart. Okay, then we go for a bar chart if it's more than 15. So for example, in the earlier case, instead of subcategories, say do it by states. Oops, sorry. Total states. Okay. Now it's really hard for me to understand, right? Which is smaller and which is bigger. I cannot easily compare them. Then in that case, I go for a bar chart. Here you can even sort them. Okay. So this is my bar chart. So bar charts are mainly divided into two types. Okay. Bar charts are mainly divided into two types. The first one is a horizontal bar, and the second one is vertical. Under vertical, we have two more types. We have a side by side and a stacked. Okay, we'll explore both of these options in a moment. So horizontal, vertical, and in vertical we have two types, side by side and stacked. So let's see them now. So this is my horizontal graph, horizontal bar chart. So to do that, I can simply select whatever values that I need. Okay, let's say segment. I've selected segment and say quantity. To enable it, I can select this one. What do I require for a horizontal bar? One or more dimensions and one or more measures. sorry, 0 or more dimensions and 1 or more measures. Okay, those are the requirements for a horizontal bar chart. Now, before we completely venture off into charts, let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages between charts under pie and packed bubbles. Okay, so in this one, so if it's like this, okay, now I face a small issue if the values that I need to show are negative. So right now my profit is all positive, so I can show this one. But there is no point if I have a negative profit. I cannot show that in a pie chart. So negative values cannot be shown in a pie chart. Even in a packed bubble, this one packed bubble, I cannot show negative values. Okay, so this is a problem for me, negative values. Whereas in a horizontal chart, I can easily show them. Sorry, state and this one. Okay, see, I have Illinois negative profit. I can show it here. But if I do this one, okay, I cannot. There is no point. If you observe here, there is 10 negative written. That means there are 10 states with negative values. If I click on that option, it gave me two options. Filter data. So what does it do if I filter data? So I can eliminate all the negative values, or or all the negative values can be plotted as if they are positive. So for example, say Illinois has minus $12,000 profit. Now I cannot show minus $12,000 on a circle, right? Or part of a pie. Then I have multiple options to do this. Either eliminate Illinois whole or convert the total Illinois to a plus value, plus $12,000. So this way I can plot it. So see what happens if I select use absolute values. The number of states are higher right now. Why is that? Basically it plotted all those 10 negative states also. Okay, one moment. Okay, what I did just now is that if my profit is negative, then plot in red color. If my profit is positive, then plot in green color. So by default, all of these are positive values. See what happens if I use absolute values. So all of these states, red in color, they have a negative profit. If I hadn't used color, okay, I hadn't used color, then you can never say which is positive and which is negative. If you are an investor and see this chart and want to invest in a state, you may think, okay, Texas is profitable, I think, so let's invest in Texas. Whereas Texas has a negative $25,000 profit. Sorry, a loss of $25,000. Okay, that might create some issues. So that is the reason what we can do is we can generate a horizontal, and in horizontal we can simply show all the negative values easily. Okay, all those to the left side are negative values, all those to the right side are positive values. This way no one gets confused so easily. Okay, that's one of the biggest advantage of bubble or pie versus a bar chart. Okay, now what if the values become humongous? Say for example, customer ID. Let me sort it first. Now if you observe, like I cannot completely give any distinction between these values. So in that case, if it's more than 50, what I'll do, it's better to choose your text table or highlight table. This is also fine. this one or this one, either of those options. Okay, now let's explore more in the bar charts. So let me put this here. Okay, so to sort it, these are the options. You can click here, sorted, decreasing order, increasing order. Okay, or you can also do it here. This is the data source order. Data source increasing, decreasing. So if it's sorted, then you can see the sorting option next to it. If it's not sorted, then you're not seeing any icon here next to profit. Okay. Also, if it's sorted, you can see the icon. So right now I sorted the states, right? So that's why you can see a sorting option next to state also. Okay. If there is a region. Okay. Now I have it next to state because region is not sorted right now. Sum of sales of region is not calculated. Okay. By default, I have placed the region sorting. If I want to sort the region also, descending order of sum of profit, click apply. So this is the descending order of sum of profit. So now I have a sorting option next to region and also next to state. If I clear sort here, it doesn't mean my region sorting is also gone. So only that my region sorting is present right now and state for sorting is not there anymore. To sort, I can simply sort it like this. Sum of profit, click apply. If you want, you can again sort it in the increasing order also. So both of them are not inclusive. So West region has most profit. Okay. Say I'll put a bar so that you can understand. Okay. This is the total for West region. See the length of the bar. Total for East region. This is smaller. Total for South. This is more smaller. Total for Central. This is way more smaller. Okay. That means region is sorted right now in decreasing order, but my state is sorted in increasing order. Okay. Perfect. So these are the different sorting options that we were seeing earlier. Are you clear? The horizontal bar. Any questions, anyone? Assuming you do not have any questions. Okay. So now that you are clear in this one, we'll venture into the vertical types. Horizontal is simple. Now we'll go into vertical ones. Oh, one small thing. If it's horizontal, you can also swap it. It doesn't mean if it's horizontal, it should be shown in this way only. That's just a default format. From there, you can venture any way possible. That's up to you. Okay. Let me remove subtotals. Now it's a little bit clear. Okay. Now next sheet we go. So here we'll see these two are the vertical types, a stacked bar and a side by side. Stacked and a side by side. Well, let's see what do I require for that. For a stacked bar, I need one or more dimensions and one or more measures. So let me select two dimensions. I'll select a category, select a subcategory, and a sales option. Now this is highlighted, stacked bar, click on that. So when do I use a stacked bar? So basically, I need to compare distinctions of a whole, and in that whole, this is one whole unit, right? So I need to compare furniture versus office supplies versus technology. And then inside this of technology, I need to compare phones with machines, machines with phones inside this. So of a whole part, I need to compare individual items or subcategories. Okay. Then I use a stacked bar chart. So of a whole, I need to compare subcategories. Then I can use it like this. Can also say, instead of it like this, I can also use it. So this is also a stacked bar chart. Okay. The next one is side by side. For side by side, I need one or more dimensions and one or more measures. So let me select one dimension, say category. Okay, one dimension and two measures. Okay, profit and sales. Now if I click here, okay, here this is called a side by side. That means one measure next to another measure. When do I use this one? Basically when I need to compare, okay, remember, when I need to compare similar measures. Similar measures, they are not same. Profit and sales are similar, but they are not same. Okay, when I need to compare similar measures, then I use a side by side. Okay, is everyone clear? Stacked side by side. Stacked side by side. Stacked, that means one on top of another. One on top of other. Side by side. One next to the other. Okay, that's a simple way to recognize it. When do you use it? If you want to compare parts of a whole, then you use a stacked. If you want to compare similar items, okay, let's say if you also want to compare quantity, okay, now you are comparing similar items here but not same. Okay, then we can use these different options. Perfect. The next one, okay, before I go into next one, let's talk about annotations a little bit. What is annotation? Basically, if I need to give a heading, say I need to write something here, I want to write something here, then I will annotate. To annotate, right click, click on annotate. I have three options. We'll explore these three options in a moment. First, let me select area. So here, what? I'll write a sample information. Category side by side chart. Simple information. So if I am doing it based on an area, okay, then that's my annotate area for the whole area here. If I'm doing it for the area, then annotate area option. If I'm doing for a point, now let's select this point, okay, technology side by side. Now this one I'm doing for one single point, okay. I can adjust these things, but basically I am measuring for one point, okay. Then it's my point option. If I am doing it for a mark, okay, right click, annotate mark. Now click OK for now. One moment. Now what I'm doing is basically I'm explaining this mark. So as the value of this sales goes up and down, this value also changes. This thing remains constant. This thing remains constant. If I give a sum of sales here, say I give $72,000. So this one doesn't change as these points change. But whereas if this total sales changes, this value changes. Is everyone clear? The three different options: right click, annotate, mark, point, area. I'm not getting a mark option enabled right now because I did not select a mark here. We already discussed what a mark is. Remember? So you select a mark, right click, click annotate. If you want to do it for a mark, click mark. For this mark, I want to show category and which category, and profit, sum of profit. Okay. That's my annotate a mark, annotate a point. This is annotate an area. If you're trying to explain for the whole area, so for the whole report, if you want to say, then you can say it this way. If you are saying for something like a point, see this one, or you can also do it this way. This technology side by side. But if you're doing for a point, and as your point changes or as your mark changes, if you want the value displayed to be changed, then you have to select a mark option. Okay? Are you clear with that? Everyone, the three different options? I'm assuming you understood that. Okay. So this is my stat side by side. These two options are in vertical, and I also have a horizontal. Click. Okay. Awesome. The next one. So before I venture into more, I'll talk about creating a folder and adding members to folders. We have already talked about how to combine the members by selecting 2 or 3 members from dimension pane. Yeah? Okay. So creating a folder and adding members to the folder. Remember, we have already seen creating hierarchies, creating a group, creating a set, all those things. Now to create a folder, first let me tell you why we use a folder. So folder is basically used for the developer purpose. Okay. So if I think all these values belongs to one unit, say subcategory, and say category, segment, I think all these three things belong to one type. So I can place them, but these are not hierarchy. Okay. So I can place them in a folder. So for that, first I have to change the view on how I am seeing this. Right click. Okay. Group by folder. Now, if I want to see these three in a folder, create folder, okay, something like that. So this is only for data developer purposes, or for us, whoever develops the dashboard, it's for them. Uh, I I think you might be confused a little bit. One moment. Let me add one more here. So let me add, say, returns, and now when I go here, if you observe, all of these are sorted based on, or they sorted based on the data source. These two fields are coming from returns, these two from people, and these fields are coming from orders. So they are sorted according to data source. Now I know that product ID, customer ID, order ID. These three are IDs, right? So I think these three are similar. So I want to place them together. For that, first to select, show them by folder. Okay. Now in this row ID, product ID, row ID, these four are IDs, right? So now right click, folder, create folder, IDs. Only these four will be shown in IDs. So this is used so that I can easily understand and easily develop my dashboards or reports. Okay, this is not for the end user purposes. This is only for the developer purposes. Okay, are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the next option we'll see. I've already told you about how to combine the members, right? Combining members as in combining fields. So for example, yesterday we have seen that. Now if I want to combine this region and state, okay? State, region, right click, create combined field. Now let me remove these so that you can see it clearly. State and region combined field. You see, state comma region. Yesterday we discussed this when we wanted to show a cross tab of information. We did this option, remember yesterday? By creating a combined field, we did that. Okay. Awesome. Next one. Okay, I think you understood till now. So we'll see these two maps and then we'll close. Okay. These two maps. Moment. State. Okay. By different state, I'm basically color coding it. This is my field map option. These are the states in my data source. That's why I can see them. Oops, sorry. I do not have all the 53 states, so that's why your map is generating this way. I think there's a problem with my data source. One moment. Okay, yeah. Because I did an inner join, some of my states were eliminated. Now we were thinking of exploring these two options. This is a field map and this is a symbol map. Okay. To generate, what we'll do, you can select any geographical type. So state is a geographical type, postal code, city, country, all of these are geographical types. So you can simply double click that option and your map is generated. Okay, I have two options here, symbol map and a field map. So field map means each state or your entity will be filled with a color, and symbol map will have a symbol on that particular area. So this is Colorado, so on Colorado you have this point. Okay, now let's explore these two options. So in a field map, you can basically region. Okay, you can basically color it. You can basically color it. You cannot do anything on the size. Okay, detail, yeah, label, yes, and tooltip, yes. So the only thing you can do here is color. You can do a size or shape or anything like that. Whereas if it's a symbol map, okay, if it's a symbol map, I can place it on color, or I can place it on size, okay, or I can select a shape here and select region on shape. Now each region is being shown by different shapes. Now in this I can do three things: color, size and shape. So say this is my color option, this is my size option, this is my shape option. Okay, I can do these three things. Okay, I can do these three things on a symbol map. This is very important. So why is symbol map used sometimes and why is field map used sometimes? So if you have to show only one thing other than your geography, then you use a field map. This looks good compared to a simple map. So that's why you use a field map. But if you have more things to show, so right now you want to show region. Now you also want to show sales. You also want to show quantity. Okay, you can do multiple options in this one. A color, a size, and a shape can be done in a symbol map. Okay. Now, one of the common symbol map that they ask from you is, I'll show you in a moment. Okay, this is the most commonly asked interview question. Okay, guys. Here, what are all the things that I'm showing? Let me make it a little bigger. Here, what am I showing? Basically, each state, okay, each state has a point on it, and each point is made by a pie, and the pie is being generated from the different, from the volume of sales from each category. Okay, volume of sales from each category. Clear? Okay, awesome. Do you have any other questions?